Lyn, thank you so much for your time. It's always good seeing you.
Great to see you, Elle, in Melbourne for AIME. It's exciting. We're all here, back together again.
Absolutely, but we're here to talk about Sydney.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, what are some of your key takeaways over the past 2 years?
Yeah, it's been a pretty big couple of years of ambiguity, uncertainty for the whole industry, and for Sydney's not excluded from that. I suppose the silver lining for me is the fact and the speed that the world and our industry has adopted technology, and the opportunity that presented us to work with our international clients who would have had a face or in-person event to broadcast to a much broader audience than we would have ever achieved if we'd had that in-person event. And so what that did, it gave us the opportunity to also broadcast Sydney's innovation, tourism and business brand and assets to the world, and that hopefully will come back full circle. So those people that have seen what we have in Sydney and our knowledge and innovation economy will come and want to see it when we open up, as we have, borders are open and international business comes back. I suppose the other really great silver lining is our government has always got the real true benefits of hosting global meetings, but we pivoted to the domestic market. We hadn't done that before. New campaign, built a two-way market platform for buyer and supplier to come and supported by our tourism supply chain with their packages, and then the government gave us a significant financial package so we could stimulate demand for the domestic market. And so all these things really came at us over the last couple of years. And I'd say from a business event Sydney's perspective, we really lent into our people. We went to a full agile way of working. We actually invested in significant technology and changed the way we work as a team, and that's changed the culture for the better and set us up for agility, and any uncertainty that comes our way, we're ready to respond pretty immediately.
Yeah, fantastic. You know, we are on the precipice of change. You know, with the past few weeks, a lot of announcement of international borders opening again, which is delightful for Sydney. So what are some of your strategy moving forward in terms of attracting the return of international visitors and business travellers?
One thing that I'm really proud of the team in our industry is we rehomed over 60% of the events that were going to happen materialise in Sydney in the last 2 years. So what that means is 2020 for us will be a very strong, 2022 will be a very strong domestic year, but those rescheduled events will land in 2023, and we actually have 40 international events already on the calendar, and nearly half of those are big city-wides. So clients internationally have really said, the Sydney brand is strong, we trust you as an organisation to help us manage through this process. We're not going to go virtual or hybrid, we're going to stick to an in-person meeting in 2023. So that gives us a lot of confidence and optimism for the future for our industry.
Now, I know that obviously China has been a huge market for a lot of us when it comes to destination, and we're still waiting for them to be able to travel again. So what are some of the other markets or industry that Sydney is targeting to fill some of the gaps that China is sort of like, we're waiting for China to return? Yeah,
it's a challenging one because we don't know what the timeline will be for their return, and it was a big piece, a big portion of our corporate incentive market into Sydney. That said, we've always had a diversified portfolio of destinations that we look for source markets for that corporate incentive market, and also for delegate attendance. We nearly had 30% Asian attendance at the conferences that we've hosted. So a diversified portfolio, and really key people have built those relationships, continued those relationships during COVID, and we're actually going to see, I believe, some materialisation of some of those Southeast Asian incentives at the second half of 2022, and then obviously build on that portfolio for 2023 onwards.
anything about key industries that your team will be targeting at moving forward?
Yeah, this has been really interesting. Some industries have really expanded and grown during COVID, and others have contracted. So we've kept our finger on the pulse. In terms of the innovation, you think of companies that building PPE and the vaccines, pharmaceutical companies. Even my husband imports sheet plastic that have all the Perspex screens that you see that have been manufactured. They are sometimes manufactured overseas, but that sheet plastic comes from overseas. So that industry is doing really well. Real estate's doing really well. So really focusing on those that have come out of this pandemic a bit better off, but not losing sight of the ones that will build back as we emerge.
What would you say success would look like for Sydney for this year?
For this year, look, I think there's so much pent-up demand, and the fact that we will have the Accelerate program in the market to incentivise domestic corporates and national associations to hold their event and contract as soon as possible. I think we're going to have a really robust domestic market this year, all things going well, and maybe some international business towards the end of the next year, but 2023 onwards. I don't think we'll get back to 2019 levels until we have full airline capacity, and there are so many other determining factors. But maybe 2024 is where we've set our targets to be at 2019 levels again. We're here at AIME, and we had Get Local in Sydney, and the tourism and business events supply chain are out in full force. So that tells you that there is real excitement, and we're anticipating good things to come. And it's all about partnerships for us. We work really hard on our people, on our partnerships with government, with the tourism industry, also the not-for-profit and academic institutions. So for us as an organisation, partnerships are key. And then how can we get a win-win situation with our clients to bring those partnerships to play and do really great things with our clients, not just say, here's Sydney, have a great event, but actually optimise the opportunities for when those events are in town. If I give an example of a global conference or even a national conference in a particular industry sector, there's opportunity for us to look at foreign direct investment opportunities, expose that national association to an international audience through the broadcasting that I mentioned before, trade facilitation, and obviously global talent. Every city in the world is after talent and capital, and we can play a part in partnering with all of those industries and obviously our tourism supply chain in our own backyard as well.